with one of these men at the helm.
Yeah, so in the upper right, though, not the crazy one. Not as much, I don't think. In the red for the Platinum Heroes, it's ShaDoWn.
And his opponent coming in with something a little bit funky already. It is Bly. And he has gone for a 14 pool double extractor trick. This is already something that is wild. And we got a drone crossing the map. ShaDoWn has this probe on the other side of the map. I think this is maybe... I don't know that I've ever seen this.
I think this is to block. Yeah, he's going to proxy hatch the wall to make sure that there is no wall. And then behind that, this means several things. First of all, you can't wall off as the Protoss. That's the obvious. On the other hand, on the other part of this is that the first zealot you make, it has to be rallied on your side of the wall. Otherwise, you're just going to lose it. It doesn't feel all that great. So not a lot of surface area on the proxy hatch for a while. It also means that until you get the cyber out, the Lings are going to have free reign on killing the gateway. If this was a normal 12 pool or early pool, well, the zealot can pop out, you can micro around. That just shuts that potential down. So Bly, by getting this off, this is... okay. No, you know what? There's actually a bit of a choke here. I'd like the popping the zealot on the other side. Yes, it's vulnerable, but there is not a lot of surface area here the zealot or the Lings are going to be able to find on the zealot.
No, but they will be able to. If he cancels that hatchery, he can potentially surround the zealot. Now, can Bly actually block the zealot from coming out on the left side? Looks like ShaDoWn is... No, he is going to be able to get it out there. All right. And now we see the cancel coming on in. Oh, he's going to go for the hatchery block at the natural. ShaDoWn could have prevented it, but the probe doesn't move there. Bly gets it. Well, gets it up. And now we are going to see a surround on one of these zealots. That is a big deal. No shield battery done. The adept is going to be out shortly, but it's not done yet. And Bly is already creating a ton of chaos. He's killed one probe on his opponent's side of the map, one probe on his side of the map. He's got his own expansion coming up here, and this is going to be very disruptive.
That it is. And he gets another probe in the mineral line as well. And realistically, he's not going to get much more than that. It's only 2 Lings. 1 is low. But ShaDoWn should not have lost that probe on the probe pull. That is something where, especially because there's a little spot right there that you're forming a wall with, you can pull back. You really should not lose a probe. So ShaDoWn losing a third one just shows how disrupted he is, how discombobulated he is. And again, you're right, Fly behind this. He's got that expansion. I keep looking at this as if there's a third base. Technically, he's got a third base on the way, but this one's steadfast. This one, if it completes, it's not going to last all that long. It's going to provide some creep maybe. And, well, ShaDoWn, he's going to have to find some solutions. And 3 adepts running across the map at the very least. They force extra Lings coming out of Bly. And I love that.
So good for Bly. Okay, so the big result of this is how long he delayed his opponent's expansion. Part of the reason why this is so good for Bly is that by killing one of the zealots, that is your high DPS unit, against killing unfinished buildings. The +1 armor doesn't kick in until that building is completed. So the zealot is getting its full damage. Now we're going to see the counterattack coming in from ShaDoWn. Will it be enough to equalize? Yes, Bly has not yet caught up in the worker count, but his opponent's Nexus just started. And these adepts, they are going to be zoned out. A lot of Lings are built. Oh, we do see the shade into the natural. Bly was not prepared for that, so he does lose 2 drones. That is very good for ShaDoWn.
That it is. Oh, he's going to get another one as well. The Lings actually preventing the cancel. So no spore right there. 3 drones will fall. And Bly, again, there's no third base here coming in behind this. His speed is pretty far off. It's going to be like a 5-minute speed, which is, for those of you paying attention at home, is like 90 seconds slower than it normally would be. And this glaive idea coming behind from ShaDoWn, well, it could be really interesting. But Bly, he's got a Baneley nest on the way. And Baneleys, if you get the connections properly, they annihilate adepts.
Yes, they certainly can. This is weird that he's going defensive Baneleys because he's still droning up. If this had been an all-in, he would have been able to potentially shut down both gateways at the front. That could have been very deadly for ShaDoWn to deal with. And Bly might still think about going aggressive with this. It feels like he wants to. He's going to try and jump on top of these depths. We'll get one of them very quickly. This is not a ton of production from ShaDoWn. It is only 3 gateways. Another adept gets taken out. Will Bly be able to chase down these adepts? That is the big question for me. It looks like It looks like Bly does, in fact, want to go all in with this. He's doing this off of a higher drone count than we'd normally see, but this is still going to be very aggressive, I believe.
And you have to be so careful because, again, Glaive's done in 10 seconds without the Banes. Lings do not fight this all that well, but getting on top of the Zealot's nice. Getting on top of the Probe, well, that's going to be even nicer. And ShaDoWn commits onto the other side. He sees all the Lings right there, but knows he's got a wall, so he feels pretty safe. And now the Adepts, they're going to see the Banelings, and that is going to allow ShaDoWn to play this pretty differently. In fact, shading into the main base, I wouldn't hate it because, again, the Banelings are decently far away. And once the Banelings go off creep, I mean...
Oh, my God.
This
is
the
supply block.
Oh, no, but look at the Serral, though, coming in.
Oh. He's going to get some decent connections. The Adepts will manage to shade out Bly. Was supply blocked at 60 of 60, built 7 Overlords. Absolutely punishing, brutal supply block from Bly at a very critical moment when he really wanted to be droning up. He got the cancel on the third base. He put himself in a really good position, but unfortunately, that massive supply block, look at it, he's almost double the supply of, like, the max supply of his actual supply right now. We do see the aggressive shade forward into a couple Banelings. Is that going to be enough for the Lings to take the fight? Yes, it will. Even though it was only 2 Banelings, they hit almost every Adept. Those were the most effective Banelings they could have been in that scenario. And that's going to make it much more difficult now for ShaDoWn to try and secure a third.
He's just not allowed to at this point. Bly is doing such a good job of curtailing, denying, delaying the economy of ShaDoWn. And behind this, well, there's a layer just about done, a Roach Warren going on the way. And perish the thought, Steadfast. Bly looks to be going into, oh, as I say that, more Banelings are morphing in. I was going to say, he seems like he's moving into like somewhat of a standard Zerg mid game. Weird way to get there. But no, more Banelings on the way. Roach is on the way here as well. Bly sensing some opportunity. Oh, he might try to bust this thing down. For now, Adepts on the other side, but 2 Adepts are worth a lot, Steadfast. But again, it is still only 2.
I mean, they do have resonating glaives. They can machine gun down drones very quickly if given the opportunity. But on the other side of the map, that is the wall I was talking about. Very exposed. Banelings get a couple of probes in the natural expansion. Battery overcharge gets popped. Instantly dies. And Bly has been doing Bly things all game long, and he is going to continue to do Bly things. Gets into the main middle line, finds another bunch of probes. ShaDoWn is really on the back foot, and that's what I was looking for before when I saw the layer complete. It is the Spire, the Bly Spire, the Blyer, if I may. And it is difficult to deal with a Spire in this matchup in the best of scenarios. When it's this chaotic and you've taken this much damage, I have no idea how you're possibly going to deal with it, especially when he's gone for Colossus Tech.
Yeah, Colossus, unfortunately, while they do bonus damage to light units, Steadfast, they don't shoot up. So it is going to be a struggle here right now. Roach speed on the way as well, because having Roaches against this heavy Adept pressure is always going to be kind of nice, but it is that haymaker of the Spire that really is what we're looking for. These Adepts, they're going to shade in, but Lings find them immediately. So even this, no more counter damage. Adept is going to try, or Prism keeps it alive, actually. So that's decent. But I love what Bly's doing here, and not only in going to the Spire, right? That's really nice, but by showing the Roaches and showing the Lings running onto the other side of the map, it's even less for ShaDoWn to go on. If I'm ShaDoWn right now, I'm looking at this as saying, oh, wow, I'm really far behind. This is Bly. He's going to get even more aggressive. I have to be ready for a Roach Ravager Ling type of follow-up. And Steadfast, the defenses for Roach Ravager Ling are very different from 12 mutas in your mineral line.
Yeah, no, there is nothing that deals with the mutas right now. There are 2 Stalkers in a Sentry. That is it for anti-air. If he didn't see those Roaches, it would have been better. This is one of those scenarios where scouting is actually worse for him. Not to say that he was in a good spot in this game at all. He was absolutely in a terrible position. But now we're going to have these 8 mutas most likely just roar across the map and be a big problem. We do have the 1 observer for ShaDoWn. It's in the middle of the map, clearing up a little bit of creep, which means that it is not going to see these mutas crossing the map.
And I mean, not just that. ShaDoWn is in the middle of the map as well, Steadfast. So yeah, the mutas are a little bit slow, but ShaDoWn, does he attack? Does he defend? He's just going across here. Lings in his third base are a problem. Mutas in the main base, even more so. And Bly behind this, after he got all those mutas, he's just been pumping Roaches time after time after time. So ShaDoWn, he shouldn't be able to break through this, not easily. There are a couple of force fields, but already there are Ravagers as well. And this concave that Bly has, Steadfast, is just so nice. It's such a hard fight to take. Files even land a little bit. And behind this again, ShaDoWn, his economy absolutely shattered. Roaches get on top of the Colossus as well. One will fall. This has got to do it here at this point. There's nothing happening on either side of the map that ShaDoWn's happy about. And there we go. Bly doing just Bly things. Takes game 1.
Hashtag just Bly things. That was so I've cast a fair number of Bly games. That was probably the most Bly game you will see. That is the quintessential Bly game. He comes out with a weird pool timing into a hatch block at the natural, into a hatch block at the actual natural location, into some weird Ling Bane mid-game aggression versus aggressive Glaives, into eventual Spire. Like, that is as Bly as it gets.
It really is. And Steadfast, I asked you before this series started how many proxy hatches we were going to see, and I think you said 2.
I said 3. I was hemming and
Okay.
hawing between 2 and 3. We've already seen 2.
I was gonna say, does that count as 2? You know?
That counts as 2, 100%.
All right. So we're going to move on to Raduset for game 2 here. And for those of you that may not be familiar, there are 9 maps in the pool. It may feel like 8. That may be what you all are used to here, but we do have another one. It is very large. It is very wide open in the middle. It's got an awkward kind of, I guess we can call that a third, fourth base setup that has rocks on the other side and minerals. And it's just a really weird map. And in general, I don't know that anyone's really happy about it. And in terms of happy about playing it, unless, of course, you're Bly. And then, well, Bly gets to do Bly things again.
Yep, he sure does. He is definitely looking forward to... Well, I'm looking forward to what he can do on this map, and I'm sure he salivates at the idea of this map. There's swarm host options. There is, super greedy options. But I'm just excited to see what he's got planned, as we have spawning down in the bottom left. It is the wild card, Bly.
And in the upper right, in the red, down a game, not quite able to hold on to the multiple proxy hatcheries we saw against him in that first game. His name is ShaDoWn.
And Bly has got something crossing the map now. Is it going for the gold? Yes, it is. Oh, yes, no?
Maybe.
No? Okay. Interesting. It darted towards the gold, and then I guess he had that drone in the natural anyways. Maybe he was trying to bait the probe to that gold-based location and fake it. But it is almost certainly going to be some kind of hatch block play. We'll see. But this is very interesting already.
I think this is just a 3 hatch before pool hatch block, where you get your natural down at a decent time, and then you try to block the Protoss third. But ShaDoWn, he saw the drone going to the other side, so this shouldn't... well, he tries, but even this is annoying, but it's not getting a hatch down and really causing all of those issues.
Oh, nice job right there from ShaDoWn. Yeah, he saw this coming with the probe, so a little bit of a miscalculation from Bly, because I think that was a pretty standard route that ShaDoWn took with his probe. So Bly maybe miscalculating. You could have gone up along the top left side and would have been able to skirt around that probe. But for now, he's going to settle for an extractor. Obviously, he definitely wanted to get the actual hatchery up at the natural. And ShaDoWn, for his part, he's going to be happy with how this has played out so far, I think.
That he is, and Steadfast, before this game really ticks off too much, but we talked about this with Haas as well, where if there is ever a season where where a player like Bly, a player like Haas goes deep, it is this one. We have extra maps in the pool, so it's harder to practice all of them. We have a balance patch that dropped about, what is it, like 3 weeks ago right now, 4 weeks ago right now, that it maybe didn't change up PvZ a ton, although in that Young Yakov Hearthstone series, we saw some significant deviations. If there's a timing when you can start to take advantage of maps being weird and the meta not being totally settled, that is where Bly thrives. So the fact that we get to see Raduset here as well, I mean, I know we talked about it between games, that's going to be pretty fun. And actually the surprising thing here is Bly let the gas finish. There's been no damage on it whatsoever. ShaDoWn is very happy to just take his gas at the natural instead. So tiny little bit of scouting for Bly, but as we can see in the radius, doesn't really see a ton. But it's just there, it's something.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get any additional residual scouting. I'm actually surprised he didn't cancel that and kind of try and run it around, maybe keep the Adept from crossing the map just so he could be a bit of a nuisance with it. We do see on the other side, the Adept did shade forward from ShaDoWn, and I think it sniped the drone. Yeah, it did. It sniped the drone, mining out the minerals, and he gets away after killing an additional Ling. Nice job right here from ShaDoWn. Very well done. Behind this, very quick layer from Bly, and we are going to be seeing a fast Void Ray and most likely a very quick third base from ShaDoWn, but I think Bly might just go for a big 2-base all in. Oh, well, can he get the pick off? Nah, Ling Speed's not going to complete. The Shade should complete.
Well, yeah, it's not going to get it. Now, Steadfast, here's the question, though. You're talking about Bly maybe doing a 2-base all in, and again, there's no third, so that seems likely. The question is what variant? I do think a Queen, you know what? Queen Ling Nidus actually could be really solid in this game, especially because, guess what, Steadfast? There's vision in the main base. It is, and actually, I think, no, okay, there's a pylon going to go down. I was going to say that there is actually spots where the extractor gives vision that the Nexus and the other assimilator doesn't. So maybe that would be solid again if you're going Void Rays and Oracles and things like that. But okay, there we go. Nidus on the way and no Roach War, nothing else. Ling Queen Nidus on the docket.
I don't think so, because he's on 4 gases. He's going up to 4 gases. This makes me think if anything, it's going to be Swarm Host right now. My initial thought was maybe Aspire, but with the Nidus Swarm, I don't like 4 gas is way too much to be going Nidus. He doesn't have a Roach Warren yet.
I wonder if this is...
He still doesn't have a spy. Did he forget the Infestation Pit?
I wonder if this is almost fake. I mean, he's banking a lot of gas to make, but... Okay, so he's got the Nidus going up. This might be fake.
Okay, he forgot the Infestation Pit. He just started it now.
Never mind. I was going to... The argument is, right, okay, I'm going to go Nidus play. I'm going to put some queens in lane. Oh, he just loses 3
that's
queens.
The worst he could have done. Oh,
this is...
that's not what you want to be doing. He does get the Oracle, and he might actually kill the Queen.
I mean, or he's going to get the Void Ray. Wait, he just needs a little more time. He's got creep down. The Queen can transfuse. He can transfuse the Nidus as another one goes down.
What?
How did that get out? I mean, it's still not great, and the Nidus still gets targeted down here, but at least the Queens are here, and there is... I mean, Steadfast, there's not a lot of damage in this army right now, and with transfuses, at least they're getting something. It's not quite as much of a disaster as it could have been. Well, we don't have any Swarm Hosts on the way. This timing that ShaDoWn's buying time over and over again and finding some value, you ideally want to get Swarm Hosts on the way behind that. You want to pump to the next round of play. And he's spending so much time trying to make this happen that Swarm Hosts are only just now starting to hit the field, or at least not even the field, only just now starting to hit the production tab.
Yeah, this is Bly just now starting his 3rd hatchery. Like, this is a very dedicated setup. Oh man, Bly had so much money in the bank. If he even had like 3 Swarm Hosts with that, and they pop their Locusts, that might actually just be game over right then and there, because there was almost no gateway units. The Queens won the fight against the air units. ShaDoWn is going double Stargate. Like, this was... Oh man, this gives me shades of when Galzi did a cannon rush at an MLG and forgot to build the Forge. This is a very unfortunate scenario. We're going to see the Swarm Host starting to be a nuisance, and the Stalkers are not going to be able to fight this too well. I mean, Radhusit, there's a reason I was surprised we saw it get through. Swarm Hosts are a bit of a nightmare to deal with on this map.
Yeah, you do not want to pop the Swarm Host out of this Nidus, though, but it is kind of nice here that, I mean, this is going Phoenix. It's double Stargate Phoenix. There is no detection on this 3rd base, and actually you can't put cannons in range of this creep tumor, so you need a Robo, you need an Oracle, something to knock that down. And actually Lings, they find their way into the main base, so now Bly, confirmation that this is 2 Stargate play. If he didn't know that earlier, tries to find some damage to the shield battery. Here's the big deal, though. Queens will start to fall, and when you are going a double Stargate Phoenix like this, there's a critical point where there are just so many Phoenix that without Queens, without other things to defend, they can just start to lift up everything and just annihilate everything on the field. That being said, that's a lot of Locusts on this natural Steadfast. I don't know if ShaDoWn keeps this thing alive.
Battery overcharge is going to get popped, but that's a lot of DPS. I was going to say we need to lift on the Locust. Battery overcharge. Oh, it just barely goes down. That was so close. The Locusts were instants from expiring, and he gets the natural expansion. That's a huge pickoff. And Bly, after being defended for quite a while, finally gets the value he's looking for. even with that, he's still down 12 workers, but now ShaDoWn's economy has been really hampered.
Yeah, I mean, he feels in a rough spot right now. We have a Nidus Tower going down to the third base, and probes are getting pulled to make sure this thing doesn't go up, but I mean, it's gonna pop up for a second. Nothing pops out of it. But realistically, Steadfast, as we're seeing here, you don't have to pop the Nidus in the third. It's a tax on ShaDoWn's attention, although at this point, Nidus heads are expensive. Bly's only on 3 bases. We don't have the 4th base on the way just yet. Oh, this is a problem? No, never mind. The Locusts are going to get out in time. Swarm Hosts, I thought the Nidus might die before the Swarm Hosts are able to get back in, but no, they're going to be okay. That being said, though, Phoenix showing just how nice they can be against Locusts in the air. Light units, Phoenix, actually going to minimize the damage.
Yeah, only a couple more probes going down. Not, like you said, the Nidus Swarm heads are starting to get real expensive here. The Spire behind this has finished, and 5 Corruptors do pop on out. And ShaDoWn is, well, I mean, he's built quite a few air units. If you look at the units tab, I mean, it's not as funny as it was before, but for a moment, it was 14 Swarm Hosts, 2 Lings, and just a handful of Queens for Bly. Now we actually have some additional units hitting the field in the form of those Corruptors, those Roaches, and Stalkers as well for ShaDoWn, but it was a very funny units tab just a little bit ago. Locust Waves being launched in the middle of the map, not going to be able to achieve much. I don't even know why he's going further into the natural. I think, yeah, you just drop them on the Stalkers and do the best you can.
Yeah.
This has gone so off the rails.
It really has. And I mean, the Void Ray kills 2 of those Swarm Hosts as well, so less value for Bly. And when you play a Swarm Host style like this, Steadfast, you're not going to have a crazy economy. You're going to be on 60, maybe maximum 70 drones, really. Because Swarm Hosts are very supply expensive, and you want to make sure that you get as much as you can. Losing a Swarm Host is 2 more are going to go down right here on the Phoenix lift. They are meant to just gain infinite value. When you lose one of them, it hurts quite a bit. So another Nidus head goes down, another couple Swarm Hosts fall. And despite getting the base, it doesn't really feel like Bly's getting what he wants. Although this time, finally, a Nidus pops, and now there's a little bit more damage from Bly. Shield batteries overcharge will go down with Corruptors as well. Well, he's not even going to need it. The third base falls. ShaDoWn, though, on the other side, Phoenix, Stalkers, finally feels empowered in some way to look for some damage on his side, on his opponent's side of the map.
I don't know if that's the right call, though, because Bly, well, there's no blink, there's no charge. The Stalkers don't have any +1 weapons. Bly has so much more mobility with this Nidus Worm than his opponent. He's hesitating a little bit as to whether to commit on the other side of the map, and he does decide to come back home, which I actually do like because ShaDoWn is the one who's very committed forward now. And I feel like if ShaDoWn doesn't recall almost right this instant, he is going to just get run over.
And this is wild as well. Looking at this, I mean, there are far too many Corruptors on the map right now. +1 air is done as well. So Bly, he's committed really hard to this anti-Phoenix play when, I mean, realistically, there's not a lot in the air from ShaDoWn right now. And he's going to win the fight in the middle of the map. And the Locusts pop out again on the other side. So this base, it's going to take a long time to get that third base up again with all the creep and everything else. And now ShaDoWn here, he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Corruptors dominate the air. Locusts are starting to find even more value. Now, you don't want to fight under Stalkers. That is the one period of time, that is the one position where Bly is going to be a bit upset. But this game you talked about, Steadfast, going kind of off the rails. Well, Bly, he's right in his train. He's back on the rails again. He's getting the damage he wants. He's forcing his opponent back. And ShaDoWn, at this point, it's feeling pretty hard to find an opening.
Yeah, I mean, ShaDoWn's done a great job of expanding to the bottom right side. He's got another base set up there now, but Bly just has Nidus heads everywhere. He's popping Locusts out here, there, and everywhere. This is becoming too much for the Protoss player to deal with. It's a 70 army supply lead. Yes, a lot of it's in Swarm Hosts, but we even see the Caustic Spray. I was wondering when we were going to see that come down. It does come in and kills off the natural again. Bly is the Nexus sniper in this game. He is closing in on top of this base. Finally, Blink completes for ShaDoWn, which is going to enable him to take a good fight around this base against the Roaches, but he is losing a lot of workers. He is dropping very low in supply. Bly still has a good amount of money in the bank. Bly should probably just kind of back away from this position. Wait till he has more units.
Yeah, he did not need to take that fight.
Yeah, he really stayed way longer than he needed to right there. But even with that, this just feels so difficult for ShaDoWn.
It does, but when we consider things, we say, okay, Bly, you got 11 swarm hosts, 33 of your supply is stuck in units that only fight once every 45 seconds, give or take. Okay, now you're at 60 supply. Maybe your army can fight 1-to-1 with the Protoss units on the ground. Well, Protoss units have +1. They have +2. Soon they're going to have Blink. And then, on top of that, you got 4 Corruptors. Actually, he had more, but you got 8 more supply there as well that don't do a lot either. So we look at this supply and you say, wow, it feels really good for Bly. The actual army that fights these stalkers on the ground is not all that impressive. It's actually, I think it's technically it's good down supply compared to what ShaDoWn has. So if ShaDoWn can bring his army together and for once actually find some way to get on the map, stabilize for a second, his army can actually do what he wants to do. But it's hard when you're pinned back like this, Steadfast.
Yeah, the army value is even, but it is the economy right now that is just roaring for Bly, and is so much worse for ShaDoWn. ShaDoWn is trying desperately to find the space, not even to take another base, to find the space to take a third base and get himself back up to a decent economy. But I mean, he's built himself up a really nice little army, but Bly is continuing to pester him from every angle. The Nidus Worm now coming up in the natural again, thanks to that creep tumor that's been there forever. This is just really, really painful. ShaDoWn will once again take a good fight against the roaches in the middle of the map, but that is not all that Bly has. Bly has so much more than this, and now he's going to finish up the +1 missile, the +1 melee. That's going to make his basic units just a little bit more effective. ShaDoWn, this is pretty much do or die with the army he's got.
Oh, he's incredibly all in this game, Steadfast. But again, +2 Blink Stalkers. We've seen them find miracles before, and I think he's going to have to do it in 2 ways. There's 12 Ravagers on the way at the time. He's going to want to take one fight. And assuming that Locusts play defensively, which I'm not even sure they're going to, assuming that happens, he's going to want to bait the Locusts out, back up, let them finish, and then go take another fight. But actually, Corruptors in the main base, they're going to force a recall of about half of the Stalkers. And even that all-in timing from ShaDoWn, he's not allowed to make that happen. More Nidus go up here, more Nidus heads go down. And yeah, the Corruptors, some of them will fall. They got everything they needed. They forced the army back home. ShaDoWn could not make that death push happen. And now, well, you're right. 1-1's done. Everything's out of production here for Bly. He's got his Ravagers ready. He's got his 5th base on the way. Well, actually, 5th base done. Everything that Bly wants in this game, he's now found it.
He certainly has. And this has just been chaos incarnate. Bly has been, oh man, hashtag Bly things has got to be the name of the game for this one, because he has just been all over ShaDoWn from the get-go. And the Stalkers in the middle of the map, they're going to get surrounded here. They might be able to blink away, but even if they do, ShaDoWn just cannot replenish. Bly is so far ahead in economy. He's so far ahead in supply, and he is going to almost certainly punch his ticket into the next round. ShaDoWn is still staying in this one. He's got this third base reestablished on the right side, but even 4 swarm hosts pop out, they can just click down the Nexus. No, okay, there's enough Stalkers there to prevent this from actually going down. But even just 8 Locusts is so much DPS, and I think Bly just has enough stuff to bulldoze through this army on the bottom side.
Yes, you know, Steadfast, I had some copium math about 2 minutes ago. It's like, well, you know, the actual ground supply is pretty equivalent, but I don't have that copium math anymore. It's 63 to 120. All the upgrades there are done for Bly. He's got a hive just about done. He's maxed out, well, give or take. And the Stalkers, the moment they're forced to blink here, the Lings are going to surround, the Biles are going to land, and ShaDoWn is, there we go. There's the blink back, actually. Biles, actually, they just kill the shield battery because that's all that matters, and now you're trapped into a corner. Nowhere to blink to anymore, ShaDoWn. He's staying in this game because this is his tournament life. If he loses this, he's out of the tournament, but Bly forces him out of it. And ShaDoWn